Chinese company OnePlus has announced last month its latest flagship smartphone that sports high-end specs like the powerful Snapdragon 835 CPU, up to 8GB of RAM, up to 128GB of storage, and dual rear cameras. Hey guys, Kevin Francisco here, and today we'll find out if it's worthy of being branded as 2017's flagship smartphone killer. You ready? Let's go! The OnePlus 5 has the same 5.5-inch optic AMOLED display as its predecessor, the now discontinued OnePlus 3T. One of the main differences though is that the screen itself is now reinforced with a 2.5D Gorilla Glass 5, which is an upgrade from the previous model. It has that curved edge to add an overall premium feel to the device. The front-facing camera is where it's supposed to be and still features a 16-megapixel shooter. Meanwhile, the fingerprint scanner is down below and is sandwiched between two capacitive buttons for back and recent apps. It's very responsive to the touch, sometimes a bit too responsive that it registers accidental touches as attempts to open the handset. It has a unibody design and the rear has a matte finish. This is a very welcome approach since it doesn't attract as much fingerprints and smudges as compared to having a glossy back. OnePlus was able to make the rear simple and neat by incorporating U-type antenna bands up top and down below. As more and more smartphones with dual rear cameras have now emerged, the company jumped right on the bandwagon with two sensors offering a 16-megapixel Sony shooter and a 20-megapixel telephoto lens. Checking its underside, we have a busy setup going on since the audio jack, USB Type-C port, and speaker grill are all situated here, leaving the top side totally free and clean. There are two slots both for nano SIM cards on the right side of the device. On the flip side, we have the volume rocker together with what the company calls the alert slider. It's basically a mute toggle with three positions for activating between silent, do not disturb, and ring functions. At 153 grams, the device is on the light side with just the right amount of heft to make it sit comfortably in the palm of your hand. OnePlus used an optic AMOLED display, which is a technology not commonly heard of in smartphones. This is basically a tweaked out version of Samsung's Super AMOLED panels, with the company changing the saturation to show more natural and lifelike colors in addition to having a bright display so light glares don't impede the text or pictures when using the phone outdoors. This is then fitted with a Full HD resolution with 1920 by 1080 pixels that equate to a 401 ppi pixel density. Thanks to its tightly packed display, details are what you'd expect from a top-of-the-line device with clear images and legible characters. We've also mentioned that it's reinforced with Gorilla Glass 5, so that should protect the screen from light scratches. As for the sound it delivers, OnePlus has once again partnered with Dera to bring high-quality audio to small speakers. With their technology, we would say that the handset produces decent sound quality when playing music or watching movies. Running it by our audiometer test, it was able to produce up to 77 decibels, which is pretty loud for small speakers. Just like the OnePlus 3T, the single placement of its speakers makes it easy to accidentally cover the grills when using the phone in landscape mode. Running on an Android Nougat with the company's Oxygen OS layered on top, the OnePlus 5 benefits from the updates this latest software brings. We also received the prompt to update it to Oxygen 4.5.5, so it did just that. As mentioned before, OnePlus's own OS isn't that different from stock Android, with fewer bloatware apps and added customizations in theme and overall UX. It's also worth noting that the handset is equipped with a UFS 2.1 dual-lane storage. It runs on dual-lane configuration, meaning there are two lanes for data reading and another two lanes for data writing. This, as you would have guessed, makes things faster and more efficient for the device. Lastly, since we have the 128GB storage variant, you have about 111GB left when you boot the OnePlus 5, leaving you with lots of space for your apps and media. The OnePlus 5 sports the same 16-megapixel main shooter with a few twists. For one, it is now accompanied by a 20-megapixel telephoto lens similar to Apple's iPhone 7. The new flagship also ditches face detection autofocus and optical image stabilization features for a newer, fast autofocus. This is also the reason why the company says they no longer need for OIS for photos. Electronic image stabilization, on the other hand, still aids in keeping your shots focused with minimal shakes. Based on our experience, focus time is indeed quick, and we had no problems focusing on our subjects. Moreover, a dual LED flash helps illuminate your subjects during low light instances. Its camera app has the usual Pro mode for manual tweaking of its settings, time-lapse, slow motion at 120 FPS and 720p, panorama, and portrait, just like with the iPhone 7 that digitally blurs the background to make the subject pop out more. This is a welcome addition, but I personally am never a fan of these software-treated bokeh shots, as they're not as natural looking as I'd like them to be. As for general shooting, we are greatly satisfied with the photos the OnePlus 5 churned out. Colors are vibrant while still looking natural, contrast is spot on, and details are crisp. On the other hand, its 16-megapixel front-facing camera takes decent selfies, but we wouldn't say that it's one of the handset's strong suits. Details are there but suffer greatly when used in an area with little light. As mentioned, the secondary 20-megapixel rear shooter with f2.6 aperture is a telephoto sensor with 2x zoom. This is no digital magnification that loses quality the moment you zoom in. Its 2x zoom gets you closer to the subject without compromising quality. Video recording maxes out at 4K resolution and maintains detail and color, but shooting at night would result in some minor artifacts and digital noise to materialize. Running the show is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 processor clocked at 2.45 GHz, partnered by an Adreno 540 GPU and a whopping 8GB of RAM. Having the latest chip from Qualcomm benefits the OnePlus 5 greatly, as it is able to blaze through tasks without breaking a sweat. We ran our standard benchmark test, and the OnePlus 5 got commendable scores for a comparison against other flagships. Meanwhile, playing games like Asphalt 8 and NBA 2K17 proved to be an immersive and enjoyable experience, since we didn't come across any lags or app crashes. There were some dropped frames every once in a while, but nothing too serious to distract you from enjoying. We did notice that the device gets warm when playing games or watching videos for an extended period of time, but again, nothing too alarming. Jumping over to connectivity, the OnePlus 5 is capable of accommodating 2 nano SIMs with no slot for a microSD card. What this means is that you just have to choose whether you're going for the 64 or 128GB variant, and you'd have to stick with that storage space. There's Wi-Fi with MIMO, Bluetooth 5.0, NFC for wireless pairing, and GPS with GLONASS. You'd also be glad to know that it has LTE-A with support for Category 12 for faster data connection. We ran GPS test, and it was able to lock onto a good number of satellites both indoors and outdoors. Using it to call is not a concern thanks to its loudspeaker that delivers clear audio. The person on the other line is also able to audibly hear our voice even while walking on a busy street thanks to the phone's noise-cancelling microphones. The OnePlus 5 carries a slightly smaller 3,300 mAh battery compared to the OnePlus 3T's 3,400 mAh capacity. Don't be fooled though, as the company has added a number of power-saving features on the new flagship. For comparison, we both made the OnePlus 5 and OnePlus 3T go under the same PC Mark battery test, and the OnePlus 5 lasted much longer at 11 hours and 45 minutes compared to just 8.5 hours of the 3T. We also subjected it to our video loop test on airplane mode with 50% brightness and volume, and the handset was able to go for 18 hours and 12 minutes before we needed to charge it again. It also supports the company's dash charge technology that fast charges the device. You'd be glad to know that in just 45 minutes, you'd be able to get 82% worth of battery life. The OnePlus 5 ticks off a number of characteristics that we're looking for in a smartphone. It has a thin and sexy body with a premium build, vibrant display, has a speaker that delivers loud audio, shoots detailed photos, runs UFS 2.1 for faster read and write speeds, has an impressive battery life, LTE with support for Category 12, and is a very capable performer thanks to its beefy internals. Of course, there are things to watch out for, like its slippery body and the need for a case just to avoid scratching its surface. There's also that large probability of the user accidentally covering the speaker grill when in landscape orientation. Finally, if we were to nitpick, its contact-sensitive fingerprint scanner might be a cause of annoyance in the long run. With its local price tag, it could really claim the title flagship killer, as it could go toe-to-toe against other flagship smartphones with higher asking prices. And that's about it for today's review. If you like this video, kindly give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Once again, this has been Kevin Francisco, and thanks for watching. See you guys next time.